Hello everybody, welcome to another day of Cosmoteer. We are in a new patch update right here. You can see this is update 0.23.3, and there was a few more things that were released. So let's go dive right into this. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and look at is, let's actually look at the new ships that came out. So we're going to go over here, we're going to go to Battle Helper, we're going to add ship in, and we're going to look at one of the first ships that they have in here. So built in ship under Monolith. And I don't actually know if it's a combat ship or no, so let's actually do by newest and see if we can find it. It's called the Liquidator. It's right here, the Liquidator. So this is a brand new ship. It just came out in that patch build. Another brand new ship came out too, which is in the Imperium. And the Imperium one that came out was this one right here. Two brand new ships. Let's take a look at them. Now, I know they're different costs, but I really want to go ahead and look at these ships right here. So let's look at this first ship. Wow, that is a lot of flat cannons. And you know what? I've always wanted to test out flat cannons against other things, so that's interesting. And then it has a ton of EMP going both forward and backward. And then you have these 3 cannons and 3 cannons. I actually think this would be a pretty interesting ship to look at and play around with. So that's the first ship that came out. Now this one right here is painted very nicely. I like it. This is, I can't even pronounce that name. Chrysatios? I don't know. But it's got 4 ions to these 2 cannons and a bunch of cannons in the front. Now this one won't stand a chance at all against that other ship because it's in the 600,000 range. So let's table the Liquidator for right this second. Let's find a ship that's in close to its same range. So this by name. And let's see how one of these ships do. So if I take a 600,000 type of ship closer to it like this, I don't even think this ship stands a chance against it. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's watch this. And you know, I don't know why the stream thing is all funny. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix my stream. We'll find out. There we go. That's fixed now. Let's close out this other one. There we go. Alright, now let's do. Okay, so this one locks it in. Got all these cannons firing at it. Honestly, I think it's going to cut my ship right in half because of how it is. It's a ramming ship and it locks us in right there. It's a very interesting locking mechanism. And you have the cannons on the 2 sides with just these ions just pounding through it. So unless you can back up, not gonna stand a chance. So interesting new ship. My 600,000 ship doesn't stand a chance against it. Let's try a different one maybe that stand against it. I can't even think of one right at this moment because that's a ramming ship, and ramming ships are lots of fun. Let's just try this one right here. I know the cost is just way... Yeah, that's not even fair. It's not a fair fight. 600,000, 600,000. I don't think any of my ships are going to be able to take on that one. Not the way because it's a ramming ship. So, well, let's come over here and let's look at some other ships. What are these other ships that maybe can possibly take it on? Which one do you think? It's in the 600,000. Maybe this one. Let's try this. I want to see this. This doesn't have any cannons on it, but it has a whole bunch of lasers. He doesn't have enough backwards thrust. So this one don't even stand a chance either. This Imperium ramming ship right here is basically a drill with 2 cannons on the side and all these other little cannons. So, very neat. Very neat. Huh. This new patch build, very interesting. So we're looking right now at patch 0.23.3 that just came out. Let's come over here. Let's look at the one last other ship that came out too. It's called a Hadar from Cabal. So let's come over here. Let's go by the built-in ships. Let's look at Cabal. And it's a Hadar. H-A-D... Hadar. I don't even know if I can pronounce it. Hadar. Okay. Each one of these are in totally different cost zones. So the Monolith one, the Liquidator, I really want to face something versus the Liquidator, so we'll find it. Let's find the Liquidator here real quick. Liquidator, not the Liberator, Liquidator. Yep, Liquidator. They're totally different costs, but we're looking at these each one of these ships. So let's come over here and let's look at the Hadar. That's the Liquidator. Here's the Hadar. This one is an ion-based ship. It's very similar to those other ones. With, I like how the shields are placed in that. With this one, look how many flat cannons is on this thing. Obviously, the Hadar just cut that ship in half. But you see all these flak? And it's separated into two ships, and they're still able to fly around as two separate ships. Wow, the Liquidator, I like it. I'm so interested in the Liquidator that I want to try the Liquidator. I know my ship doesn't even stand a chance against this, looking at how much flak is on there, but this is closer to that same... No, it's not even closest. I still think the Liquidator might even win, just because of how much flak can is on it. These flaks stop all lasers, they stop all missiles. They'll stop all my cannon shots. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. But maybe my ship does blow it apart. Still, I like the design. We were actually talking about this in Discord. Yeah, both ships are really good. Yeah, missiles. Then my missiles overwhelmed them with everything else. You just couldn't stop. Even with all those flat cannons. Now this ship is still going because it still has those cannons. But I think just because I have movement ability and everything else, this ship already fell apart. Even though it can't move anymore. So my missile ship stands the advantage. And I still have tons more to do, tons more missiles because of sulfur and iron. So I agree. I agree, Bloop. Both ships are really good. I like the new patch that came out. It has a whole bunch of new bug fixes and a whole bunch of new other things. So really neat. 3 new ships. Were there any other new ships? I'm reading through these patch notes real quick. They fixed a bunch of other things. A whole bunch of bug fixes, a whole bunch of other things that was fixed in it. You can read through the patch notes yourself. I just wanted to showcase all the 3 new ships that they have, so pretty neat. Alright, let's dive into a ship that was built in Discord by our wonderful host up. And he built these 2 ion massive somethings. I don't even know what to call it. 2 ships that can literally separate into 2. I need to save the ship to find out its cost, so let's go save this ship. Let's save it in our shipyard. And I'm very tempted to go to new 4 already because we're looking at so many new ships. But let's look at this. Okay, 1,300,000 with 176 crew. I'm actually interested to fight it against his ship because they're almost the same cost. Crew-wise, it's different, but I want to see this. Will this one with railguns beat this one without? What do you think? What's your money on? Now, it doesn't look like this ship is done. Actually, just looking at it, just like it's a base template. But they're kind of almost both base templates because just the way it's designed. Which one do you think will win? His new one won. He's literally got 4 of these. All you need to do is add armor. Add armor to this thing and it's... No, I'm interested. If he can beat that one, can it beat this one? Let's come over here. Let's go to built-in ships. Let's go to Cabal. And I can't even remember the name of it. A Sorientis? Can his new ship beat a Sorientis? It doesn't have enough shields. It doesn't have any armor. But without the armor and everything else, it's... Yeah. Not enough armor. Still cool. I think once you modify it and change it up enough, and once he finishes it up, it will be a very nice ship. They're just fooling around with ion beams and fooling around with all those other things, so really neat. I like it all. Were there any other new ships in Discord that I didn't know? Let me just do a quick check. I'm gonna scan this, go back up. I don't see any more, but if you want to come join us, please feel free. I know Bloop's already in there, but this is for anybody else that decides to watch this later or join in later. If you want to join us, come join us on Discord. Throw in your ship inside this Discord, and we'll take a look at it. And if you want me to mess around with it, or if you have any optimizations, feel free to let me know, and we'll look at it together and see if we can fix them up or optimize it just in a little bit, and then we'll send it right back to you and you can do whatever you want with it. But this one right here, I think all it really is missing is just armor and more shields. See how it's a very, very base template, but it works. And he could even like have it so they could separate it to two separate ships. Two completely separate ships. So that's really neat. Yeah, I like it. I see someone else just joined us here. We were just going over the patches and the different ships. I'm actually interested, maybe I want to actually, one of the built-in ships that came in, let me just go look at the names again. That Liquidator from Monolith. So Monolith, the Liquidator. That was the idea, because people were talking in Discord here, and we're all talking about flat cannon ships, and all of a sudden as we're talking about them, they bring out this new ship in the patch build, which is this Liquidator right here. It's just a really neat flag, tons of flag. I wonder if we can make it even better than what it is. And instead of EMP, I could just think of, it just doesn't have enough armor in the middle right here. Because once you separate the two ships in two, then it doesn't fly very well. But it's really cool with all these different flag. And honestly, if it was me, I know the different angles of the flag. Flag doesn't work. Flag's just like point defenses. They don't work well unless they're on the same level. They just don't. Like if you put point defenses on different levels, they just don't work so well. I know I'm editing the ship already. I'm making comments against it, but I don't know. Let's mess with it. Let's see if we can make it better than what it is. I'm interested in these new patch build ships. They just came out. They just came out today. So maybe now that they're all on the same level, and I honestly feel like if you put point defenses mixed in with it, instead of all this EMP, or add in like disruptors or lasers, that would be better for it. That's my 2 cents. I'm fiddling now. Let's save this ship. Let's come over here. Let's come over to fiddle. Let's call a new folder. Let's call this new folder built-in ship. Built-in changes. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the Liquidator right here. Oh, I didn't even save it correctly. Hold on. Save it again. Liquidator. Yeah. Okay. Let's face the original Liquidator versus my new Liquidator, and let's see if we can make it better than what it is. Now, obviously, I haven't done much change. All I did was change all the flat cannons to be on the same level, and look at that. It's not even... They're not even crew right because I moved everything around. Well, great. Now we gotta go look at the original Liquidator. So if you're ever making edits, changes to these inbuilt ships, you gotta look at how all this is actually... I'm no way I'm gonna memorize all that. Holy molies. Okay, so back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the ones on the back actually support all those ones there. And then these guys each support individually. Okay, makes sense. I know what to do. Come over here. So if you ever add these shapes, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are literally for these cannons. Redo for these cannons. I didn't move that one, did I? Okay, so then they have that one. So that's for those cannons. And then what you have to do here for these ones is this one's for this one, this one's for this one. What? Oh, that one never moved. Okay, then they also have for ammo. So this one's not only for this, it's also for the ammo. This is for the ammo, okay. So you got to do this. Okay, that's the originals. And then this is this one, this one. And this. Okay, that's the same. There, we redistributed that ship. Now we also need to come over here. We need to redo ammo as well. Redo that cargo thing. Wait, make sure that these... I gotta do that too? Okay, that redistribute all that. Then we gotta do all the ammo parts. Hold the control key down and click them in. And now we can save this ship. This ship just came out today in the new patch build. We'll go to 1.0. Save that ship. Okay. Now we'll take out that one. We'll put in Liquidator 1.0. And all we did was we leveled them all out. Because all in the same row, just like point defenses, they should act better that way. And maybe they'll never even get close enough. Yeah, they're not even getting close enough. Alright, Mr. Liquidator, let's fix you. I want you right. I want you to go up there and we're gonna save attack defaults. And we're gonna save this ship. We're gonna do that again. Okay. All we do is we make it so that he's forced to fly up close. So now he's gonna fly up as close as possible and we're gonna watch these things fight. Okay, maybe angle's better. Maybe? The angle one's doing better? Which one do you think is doing better? I don't know, they didn't do anything like I thought they were gonna do. And honestly, the left always does better than the right, just by default because of the AI and whatever it thinks. So if we're worried about that, flip the ships. Let's restart and swap. So now the original Liquidator's on the right, my new one's on the left. EMP does nothing for that ship. Maybe moving them all back is better. Yeah, because they're not getting destroyed as fast. He wiped out all his flak before he wiped out this flak. If you're just looking for pure damage, the original Liquidator is better. But that doesn't mean we can't change it. Alright, let's fiddle with this some more. I don't really care for EMP. And EMP versus each other on these two ships do nothing. If it was me, and the disruptors won't do anything either. What if we changed it to what? Missiles? What if we changed all the missiles? Right? I'm clearly messing it up. Hold on, restart that. Come over here, we hold the control key, pause the game, hold the control key down, select it, and we're going to change these to missiles. Missiles, missiles, missiles. We just go straight damage. I don't need all that EMP. Let's change these to missiles. Let's see what this does. We're fiddling. And all we need to do now is we'll go back into the ship and we'll change these all to HE missiles. Should technically all I need to do to make that work. Change this to 1.1. And I'm gonna assume that me thinking that these flat cannons on the same level is better, when facing each other, obviously they're not better. Because those cannons, see these cannons? Those cannon shots hit. And when they hit, they take out all of them instead of staggering them. Why do I still have EMP flying? I thought I saved the I didn't load in 1.1. Alright, hang on, let me load in 1.1. I was expecting missiles. Alright. Missiles! Let's see how this works. I'm interested. It's doing a little better. Not a lot better, but it's doing better. What do you think? Better? Alright. We always know left does better than right, so let's restart and swap and let's do it again. 1.1. All we did was we changed it to missiles. I don't know why you need EMP when you have this many flak. Well, I guess you could use 2 EMP. 2 EMP to help take out shields, but when you have this many flak cannons... I mean, holy molies. But I love the flat cannon idea. Yeah, left always does better than right. Don't know why. The AI has something to do maybe with the routing and they go clockwise or counterclockwise in the crew. It's just something to do with it. So the battle helper I've noticed, the left always does better than the right, just by a tiny margin. But it makes a huge difference when you're fighting each other. So that's why you do a restart and swap and you check to see how well it's actually doing. Alright, let's do this. Let's face the Liquidator, a new Liquidator, versus... Come over here and my ships will go to Shipyard, new 3, and I want to look at that new PvP ship. This one right here. Honestly, I know this new PvP ship's going to win, but I want to see how this flak holds up against all those cannons. Will it take out all cannon shots? And the answer is... so-so. Sort of. But you see on the same level, when you're not facing just the pure other Liquidator with all the flags, they do better on shooting and doing damage, if you're trying to do damage. But I guess this is what you're trying to do, right? Are you trying to do damage or are you trying to be defensive? Now that's the question. But this new PvP ship. Yeah, I don't think I would want to face against this PvP ship, just the way it's built. I mean, look at it. Would you want to face this ship in PvP? Battleship Brawlers? Obviously, the very first ship is going to fight, and then it's going to run out of ammo after the first 1 or 2 ships it fights. That's its only downfall. It'll run out of ammo. You could probably fix it though, just by putting in factories and other things. Alright. That wasn't a fair representation. I messed with that ship. Let's come over here. Let's go look at the original Monolith Liquidator. Again, we're just looking at ships that just came out from the new patch build. This ship just came out today, the new patch build. And this is the original Liquidator. Didn't touch it at all. Straight from in-game build ships. Now it's hanging back because I changed the attack defaults on the other one. But I don't know if that's a better idea or a worse idea. It's worse than offensive, you can already see. Well, maybe it's better. The EMP is taking out the shields. Oh, the armor's blocking a lot of these shields, so... He still only took out half the ship. It is a very neat PvP idea. Okay, I'm gonna call that as a win. Well, let's go on to the next ship. Instead of the Liquidator, let's move on to the next one. This Imperium one. Now we're gonna think of what kind of ship can beat this Imperium one that just came out in this patch build. It is called the CHRY Crisatios. I can't pronounce that. That's not a fair fight. What ship do I have that can fight this in a fair fight in 600,000? I guarantee my ship will not win. This is a ramming ship with 2 cannons. Other cannons, see, look at it, rams, locks them in, and in a 1v1 fight, this ship is deadly. Yeah, at first I was just thinking, oh, only 4 ions? But look at it, it's literally rams, and you got all these cannons. This is not a ship you want to face in game in a 1v1 fight at the same cost. Like, even now I'm thinking, okay, if I even go up and if I had to do a 6 cannon ship, My original 6 cannon ship? Do I even stand a chance? I think I do. I think the 6 cannons will be able to break through most of the armor. And I have more maneuverability, that's why you can't lock me in yet. They're just gonna go round and round and round. That wasn't what I was expecting. Expecting him to lock in. I think just by the round and round, if this other cannon can hit through. He's trying. Alright. I don't like the round and round. It's gonna make me dizzy. Let's try this again. Lock him in like I'm expecting. They still don't do it. Regardless, this is not a ship I would run into in game. Okay, there. Now he locked him in. And now that he's locked in, or was locked in for a short time, and then he's gonna look, he locks into. It's like, I think it makes me look at this like crab or lobster or something. Doesn't it look like a lobster? Yeah, this is a ship that is designed to ram and drill right through. And for its cost, how much crew does it take for this thing? 94 crew, that's it? I think his downfall is he'll run out of ammo there, I can see it. Imperium ships are always deadly. Deadly, deadly, deadly. Alright, let's take a pure PvP ship and face it versus this one. Oh, why did I delete? Why did I get rid of that one? I meant to keep the Imperium one. Keep that. This crustacean. That's what I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna call it crustacean. I don't even pronounce. I can't pronounce it. It's a lobster crustacean. That's what I think it is. Alright, let's go to my ships. Let's come into ship. Let's come into new. Let's take. I know you don't have a 600,000 one, but let's just take this one. A ramming ship versus a ramming ship. One built straight for. It's not even a comparison. It's got too many cannons. Or is it? Look how many shields this thing has. We haven't even destroyed the ion beams yet. And they're doing circles with circles. I don't know about you, but that causes me to go dizzy if I come look at it up close. And look how much damage this Imperium ship still is doing to it. Like literally, if it stayed locked in, it would have drilled right through to the command deck, just destroyed it. Because it has so many shields still. We haven't even destroyed the 2 main deck cannons on the side, nor have we destroyed this. I think if you were flying it and just weren't constantly ramming, it could do so much more. It doesn't even need to ram to deal crazy amounts. Just get up close and just... In the long run, I'm pretty sure this little tiny ship would still beat this one. What do you think? Speed it up. Round and around they go. I'm gonna zoom out so I don't get dizzy. Yeah, see? It's still won. Look at this Imperium ship. It's still won. It ate that one up. Alright, let's find another. What other ship can we face against this that may stand a chance that's not over 1 million? Under 1 million, because that ship's only 600,000. Who has a ship that's under 1 million that can beat this ship? Because I know this ship would beat it because it's over 1 million. Well, you know, test it anyways. Make sure my theory is correct. I'm very certain. I got so many missiles. It will take out the engines in the back. In a 1v1, this ship doesn't. Yeah, the cost-wise alone. Yeah, see, hits it from the back with all the missiles. Not a fair fight. That's not a fair representation. Yeah, easily just pound right through. He has no more engines, no more maneuverability. So that ship's done. I'm looking for a ship that's under 1 million that can beat that ship. I'm not even sure my laser ship stood a chance. And the other thing about these laser ships that I designed in other videos, they're only good at farther distance. Like if you face this versus a ramming ship, watch what it does. Lock them into place, and the game is over. This ship, Imperium ramming ship, the game is over, period. This is why ramming ships are dead, and he's got cannons on both sides. See, game over. Talk about whoever designed this, designed it to be a nasty, cheap ship. And for its cost, you'll encounter this really soon if you're playing an Imperium. 653,000? Now that is a ship you will definitely encounter. Now I do have my Ghost Shock that I modified heavily. Does this ship stand a chance? Well, let's find out. I don't think it does. Maybe. Now, see, he's gonna lock in at this weird angle. Well, maybe the shields and the armor will play effect. I still think this crustacean, again, I'm pronouncing the name wrong, it just came out. Yeah, I don't have a ship that can beat this ship. I needed to design a new ship that can face this. Or if anybody's watching and you join me Discord, there's your new challenge. Find a ship that's even close to the same cost range, 653,000, that can beat this in an AI battle. Look at it. None of the ships I have can face this. Yeah. The Ghost Shot can tank a whole lot, but I don't have a ship in the same cost value under 1 million. You have to be under 1 million. Because I obviously have ships that can beat it over the million, but that's not the same, that's not even close. And even then, under 1 million, get it closer to 600,000. Do you have a ship that's 600,000 that can beat that? I'm trying to look. I don't have anything. I mean, the EOS, here's my modified EOS, but my modified EOS, even though it's 1 million, I don't think there's a chance. Maybe. Or maybe those other ships are designed for pure eons, but a lot of them are now over. You see right here? I think he's gonna get this crystal, and if he does, yeah, it's gonna be game over. Look at that. It does. Even the EOS doesn't stand a chance. Not a chance. Let's go look at some of these other ships. Maybe one of these other ships can do it. Oh, the Pike. Oh, this Pike might be able to do it. Two ramming ships. Let's see. An AI battle? Yeah. I can't fly it around to flank it. Look at it, it's just drilling right through. I think that's the challenge right there. This new challenge, this new ship that just came out. On a 1-1 AI battle. Beat this ship for the same cost. Now I'm sure you could probably do like nukes or other things. Maybe you get a... No, I don't even think nukes would stand a chance. Look at this, it's got the 2 cannons on the side. Heavily armored. Someone designed a really nasty ship. That's all I can say. Oh, I just deleted him on accident. I meant to keep him in there. I'm trying to look for another... I agree with you, Bloop. I have no idea what faces the Chris. I know I'm calling it a different name because I can't pronounce it. If anybody can think of pronouncing that, I'm calling it crustacean. That is crustacean. What other new ships do? What other ships do we have? These are over 1 million. I know that would beat it. It's under 1 million. Yeah, none of those other pure PvP ships even stood a chance. These are all over 1 million. Cormorant? The Mosquito! Let's try that. I'm just curious now. This is a tiny little ship that moves back, flies backwards really fast. Will the tiny Mosquito beat it? And yes, I think it will because it can get him out of range. And that's just speed backwards, because you see how fast it flies backwards? And it's just gonna pick him off. I mean, eventually it won't be able to beat all these shields, but look at it just nicking away at it. So speed alone. Let's speed this, let's see what it does. Will the mosquito be able to mosquito it away? That's funny. Nope, the mosquito lost still. But it did good damage to it. Obviously, if you would have more than one mosquito, maybe. Too little these mosquito guys. Let's see how this does. Rails? Rails... I don't know of a rail that's under 600,000 that can fight this crustacean. Do you have a railgun ship that's under 600,000 that can face this? An AI battle? Right? All these shields. All I know is the concept's amazing. You can build so many more new ships with just this idea alone. And it takes away that concept too, because people are talking about in Discord and other things. Just build one type of one type of offensive weapon. He's got deck cannons, he's got ion beams, and he's got these large cannons up front. And this combination right here is very nasty, right? Yeah, I can't think of a ship that can beat it that I have. That's the challenge there in Discord. If you're watching or you're a part of this, find a ship under 600,000. I mean, under 1 million that can beat that ship in AI battle. I mean, we can probably go look at other built-in ships because I don't have any that are in that. In the design contest too? Oh, we don't have any more new ones. Is there any railguns that are that cheap that fly backwards that fast? Think of any names? Yeah. See if you can find a ship that can beat that ship, right? I mean, here, the Iceberg. Iceberg is under 1 million, but the Iceberg's not a fair advantage because look at how much armor is on this thing and how many cannons are on it. The Iceberg could probably definitely do it because it's just how much armor and everything else. Fairly certain the Iceberg will win. Just the amount of cannons on it alone. Yeah, see? There's a million ship that someone else built that can beat this ship. The thing about the Iceberg is it's slow, but the other person, what was his name? Zonskool? That built the one? This is a ship for him. If you watch this video, Zonskool, this is the ship you want to look at. If you're looking for cannon ships. Because you see right here, all this sulfur? That helps you with your ammo problem in PvP. And the Iceberg just has a ton of cannons and a ton of armor. And this is a ship to look at if you're looking for PvP. For under 1 million. That's my 2 cents. Because I don't even have a ship that's under 1 million that can face the Iceberg in a fair 1v1 AI battle. What other ships could possibly do it? I'm just looking at other people's designs to see if anybody else has built a ship that could possibly be that that's in under 1 million. The Scrap Vengeance is a pretty interesting one. But again, these are all 300,000 more than this. Like if you put 300,000 more into, again, I'm calling it a different name because I can't pronounce it, crustacean. I'm calling it a lobster. Can the Scrap Vengeance beat this? The neat thing about the Scrap Vengeance that I did notice are these missiles right here. You see how these missiles are designed? I like the placement of the missiles and how they just go in and out, in and out, in and out, and literally can keep launching. For just 4 missile launchers, designed very well. And even the Scrap Vengeance does it. This Scrap Vengeance is a nice ship. I like it. And you see how they mix in all the different type of weapons types? He mixes in flat cannons. He mixes in 4 deck cannons, disruptors on the front, shields, and missiles and EMP. Like, it's a wide, I know it has so many different things, but it beat the crustacean. So, in fact, now I'm actually curious if the Scrap Vengeance can beat the Iceberg. Because if it does, then I know what kind of ship I need to build with all different type of weapon types to be able to fight against the Iceberg. But I'm pretty sure the Iceberg, just with the amount of cannons, it's focused on one thing. Ridiculous. Yeah, Iceberg's gonna win. This is a PvP ship that you don't want to fight against. So here, let me show you what it does against my ship. Because I can cut it in half. So if I do my 6 cannon ship versus the Iceberg, but the Iceberg literally is a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7 cannon ship versus a 6 cannon ship. But you see how he's in sections? What my 6 cannon ship ends up doing is it takes out a section and breaks it off, or breaks it off into 3 pieces. But the problem with the Iceberg, because of how it's designed, it's supposed to be able to break off into 3 pieces and be 3 separate ships. So for PvP, if you're fighting the Iceberg, you break off this piece or you break off this piece, the ship's still flying around, or 3 separate ships. This is a PvP ship, the Iceberg. This is one of those battleship brawlers, or if you watch that show, the show on YouTube, Battleship Brawlers, this is a ship to look out for. Or a ship similar to the Iceberg. Under 1 million. Yeah. I don't have a ship that's under 1 million that can fight the Iceberg. Now, if you go above 1 million, yeah, you could totally find ships that can beat it. Like, even if I were to take, I don't even think my this one stands a chance against it. So even if I were to take my 1,600,000 versus the Iceberg, I'm still fairly certain the Iceberg still wins. Just because it's built purely PvP. Now, I don't think I've ever faced them versus each other, so I don't know exactly. But you see, I'll break it off into a piece. That's just one section. He still has 2 more sections. So there's another challenge. If you can beat the crustacean, beat an Iceberg for under 1 million in an AI battle. Because the Iceberg has a ridiculous amount of armor in the front. And it's got 7 cannons. And it's 3 sections. It's a 3-section ship. Even if you cut one section off, the other 2 still coming at you. Okay, so that's an unfair advantage. Plus the Iceberg's doing something silly, facing it sideways like that. But yeah, unfair advantage. I'm already 1,600,000. The Iceberg's only under 1 million, so that's not a fair representation of fighting equal ships versus each other. Alright, let's move on to the last ship that's in here. I know we've already covered a lot of them, but let's come back over here. Let's go to Hadar in Cabal. So this ship just came out too in the patch build. We're on patch build 0.23.3 that just came out today. And we're looking at the 3 new ships that they just released. This other ship that they just released is called the Hadar. Hadar, I can't even pronounce it. Hadar. Now this ship I know also can beat that crustacean. It's under 1 million, but what kind of ship can beat Hadar? This is an ion-based ship. It is, I think this is also a ramming ship too. Let's just do our baseline and let's face it against my 6 cannon. I'm pretty certain the Hadar, I don't even know how to pronounce the name. Correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to. Look at this. Okay, so it's not a ramming ship. But look at the armor on the front. And then it just literally has shields. It has a ton of maneuverability. And it just drills right through other ships. I just like this idea. See the curve? I know you can steal this idea and whatnot, but this is where I would take the idea. See these curved shields, so it protects so much. Yeah, I didn't stand a chance. Okay, let's face it, ion ship versus ion ship. Let's go look for some host up ships. Let's come over to new 3. I know none of these are. I want to take this one and face it versus it. This one is ion based with railguns in the back. And I think it stands a really good chance of beating this one. Because it has even more bigger shields with the railguns for the penetration. Honestly, I want Hosep to finish the ship. He hasn't sent me a finished design yet, but I want to see him finish it. Because this one right here can also beat a Sorientis. It just doesn't have enough armor all around. But this was always been the ship that I really wanted to idea to build out. So if you come over here, go to Cabal, Combat, and Sorientis. If you're watching this and you've never seen what a Sorientis is a ship you don't want to run into in a 1v1 in a PvE type of playstyle. The railguns and the ions alone, if you don't have a fast enough ship to come behind and flank a Sorientis in a front-to-front battle, there are not many ships that can take on a Sorientis. And this was the challenge I gave to Hosep in Discord, and he built this. Now, obviously, it's not done, and it doesn't win all the time. And obviously, the cost is not the same, because this is only 1,300,000, that's 1,900,000. But if you're playing in the actual Cosmoteer game, this is a ship I've always wanted to modify and make it better, but I never could do a good job at doing it. But yeah, this is the ship that's just, it tears apart other ships like no tomorrow. 2 railguns, ton of ions, shields in the front, tons of protection. Now Hosep made a ship, literally this one right here, that sometimes can beat a Sorientis. And or it's because I modified it and I'm the one that messed it up. But yeah, it can sometimes beat a Sorientis, which is amazing because this ship is just, oh, it's not one you don't want to run into. Like here, let me showcase what a Sorientis can do. It can literally face other ships, even Imperium ships, and take them out. You take an Archimedes. You would think that an Archimedes, which is 200,000, which has a ridiculous amount of nukes, ions, and everything on it, should be able to beat a Sorientis, right? You would think. Watch it drill this thing right in half with the railguns and everything else. Look at this. And the nukes, yeah, the nukes come in, but they only take the outer armor. The Sorientis has so much armor in the front. Or maybe, you know, maybe a little breakthrough. But normally the Sorientis can cut this other ship right in half. And it's still doing it. It still cuts in half. It cuts it in half at least twice. You just cut them in half once. Then I'll come over here, and because the AI is stupid, it's gonna cut down this other side. But if you just run right here and cut down the ion beams, it's done. The concept alone, I like it. I really like it. Doesn't always win, because an Archimedes is definitely a ship you don't want to run into. But this is what I was fighting. This is where the level I'm at. I'm playing in No Pause Cosmoteer Engineering and No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage. And these are the type of ships I'm facing. But you have to remember, I'm playing on a Grand Admiral, so it's, they do 40% more damage, I do 30% less. So it's even more ridiculous to face something like this in the Imperium-like area. So those are the type of things I'm facing. Alright, what else came out in the patch build? It's just a whole bunch of bug fix, save games, now store mods. So if you're a mod person and you have a whole bunch of mods, because they do have a lot of mods in this game, I would love to start playing with mods once I get past the point of showcasing a lot of the actual original game and maybe finish the gameplay. This is the ship that I had just faced in the last episode. I think it was episode 34. And No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage. Now this ship, I think, honestly, personally, is worse to face than Archimedes. Archimedes is definitely powerful, but this one has even more nukes and more armor in the front. This one took out all my main ships all by itself because I'm playing a Grand Admiral, and it's just got so many more nukes. Look at it. This is not a ship you want to run into in the game on Grand Admiral, but it did. Like, if you can't destroy it, because look at that, all its armor everywhere. So much armor in the front, so much armor on the sides. Now, this is the ship that I faced. They're very nicely painted, very nicely designed. And see how heavy the armor? You have to get through all of this and all of this to reach the command deck. And or even if you came from behind, you had to come through all of this just to get to the command deck. And by then, it's fired at least several volleys of nukes at you. And I don't even think the Archimedes is doing that great against it. Even though it is, the Archimedes cost more. This one's more scary for me personally to run into, just with the amount of nukes and the amount of armor. The Archimedes, the Archimedes has so many more weak points. If I come right here and hit it from here and take out this, it's easy in. The ion beams explode. This thing has nothing explosive and he has so much armor everywhere. So, yep, that's what I'm facing. We'll go back into a No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage. We'll probably do another episode live tomorrow. I just wanted to show the new patch build, the new ships that came out. And thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Blue, for chatting with me. If any of you have any other comments, feel free to ask them. Come join us on Discord if you want to check out some ships, share some ships, or whatever you want to do, or if you just want to watch and see episodes, that's fine as well. Please feel free to smash the like button. It helps me out a ton. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. That also helps me out a ton as well. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month. Check out what content I have. Thank you all again for being here, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.